much for joining us today. My name is Marion White, and with me is my co-host of Larchmont Today since the 1990s, which is quite amazing, I must say, Ken Bialo.
Good evening, Marion. How are you?
Ken
are you feeling chatty this morning or this afternoon?
Ken was mayor in the village of Larchmont for 4 years and trustee on the Larchmont Village Board for 11. So those are all unpaid years. So thank you very much for doing that.
So what you always say that, and I always say, but Marion, you don't disclose that you were trustee on the village board for 4 years and chair of the defunct Republican Party in the village of Larchmont.
It's just gone underground.
Underground. Oh, it's the underground party. All right, good.
Yes, hopefully someday it'll come back.
So hopefully someday. Can I open tonight's show?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that?
We have a puppy. The puppy started off about this big.
Right.
Right? This big. Oh, here's Governor. Who's broadcasting this? You are? Look, there's Governor Cuomo with some guy in sunglasses looking mighty creepy. The puppy started off this big.
We started that size.
Started this big. And now she's about this big. It's about 16 weeks later. She's gone from 7 pounds to 40 some odd pounds.
Oh my God.
Every Sunday, religiously, Louise reads the Journal News.
Just on Sundays?
Just on Sunday.
Okay.
She only reads on Sunday. And can you get a photograph of this? This is her opinion of the Journal News. It's a one bite newspaper. Just a one bite newspaper. If it was a good newspaper, it would taste better. Maybe like bacon, and cheese, and there'd be a 2 or 3 bite newspaper. But it's only a 1 bite newspaper.
And then she moves on.
And then she moves on to the Wall Street Journal and Sports Illustrated and other things that show up in the house, Economist, other crazy things.
Well,
so I thought I would bring this in tonight as kind of a show and tell of
about what your life is like.
No, it's about dogs who read newspapers. And
like
how they express their opinion. Now, here's the secret. Dina's dog's name is Sunday.
Yes.
So on Sunday, what do you think she reads? Do you think she reads the Journal News?
I really don't know.
I don't know. Well, this would be an important fact to ascertain, and I think we'll have to get that.
We will research it
have
further
to get that.
and update next time.
This is what it looks like for a dog to read a newspaper. Okay, that's tonight's news.
Okay. Well, now that we're on to the fun stuff,
yes.
It is so exciting. Furniture Share House is having its second art sale.
Second annual art sale, yep.
On October 26th from 6:30 to 9.
Ish.
And it's at Serendipity Labs, which is at 80 Theodore Fremd Avenue in Rye.
Right.
And it's called Home is Where the H-E art is, so that's really fun.
Clever.
Last year, we had a lot of fun.
We did have
at
fun.
the first one.
We did.
And we bought a Fabrizio.
Yes, which you stole right from underneath my gaze.
Well, he is...
And you got it for what, 15 bucks or something, 20 bucks?
More than that.
Yeah, oh good, good.
But, I mean, he is a renowned artist and a very interesting pop artist, so
and there you are.
We're thrilled.
And you got it at a bargain price, right?
Absolutely.
The whole point of this is when people give furniture and other knickknacks and stuff to Furniture Share House, some of the items that they give are actually interesting pieces of art and they're in very good shape. And the question is, if it's a really big couch, can it really fit into an apartment that people are moving into, coming out of a protected facility? And can it be carried up there? Does it fit in the room?
Right.
The answer is that kind of stuff doesn't fit. It can't be delivered. It doesn't fit. So it's a good thing to use that to raise money, sell it, and raise money.
Oh, that's very clever.
For the budget.
Okay.
So that's what the galas are about. When they have all the when Kate has all those vignettes
Right.
right around the room where the designers come in and they pick things and they put them together, and then people will pay, you know, we're not talking about Ethan Allen prices,
No.
right? We're talking about very modest prices. But the money then goes into the budget. That's how we fund the organization. This is a little event, right? But it reflects the fact that when people ask to donate furniture, they drop it by or they ask us to come and pick it up. They frequently will have artwork in unbelievable frames. You have an unbelievable piece of art.
Right.
Most of the art is okay, but some of the frames are spectacular. And you can buy this for $25 or $30
Right.
or $40 or $50. It's a silent auction kind of thing. And that now on a much smaller scale than a gala, but still makes good use of things that can contribute to the budget in a major way when you collect them all, and that's what they had. I can't remember last year, we must have had 300 or 400 pieces.
Well, we bought something that we really liked was by a high school student. It was a winter scene, and it had a wolf, you know, with the winter landscape behind. It was
A wolf?
or a dog. I'm not sure. 4 legs. But what really should interest you and does interest me is there are 100 tickets being sold for $50 each.
Yes.
For a Yankee miniature car.
I don't have my picture. I don't have my picture. I carried it I carried it out of the car the other day, out of the Suburban.
Well, and it goes 4 miles an hour.
Battery
and
driven.
We think a 3-year-old could figure it out, right?
Well, I don't know if we think a 3-year-old can figure it out. I put it on the ground. It's about yay long. It's in the shape of a Mustang, about 2.5 feet high, right? Has 2 seats.
Right.
It's actually an electric car that goes 4 miles an hour, which is sort of like this, in forward and reverse. It is painted.
Wow.
This is donated by
Right.
an artist whose name escapes me right now, and I'm going to be really mad that I can't remember it.
We can report on who won it next time.
Yes, it's in the shape of a Mustang, and it is decorated in Yankee pinstripes.
Yes.
And it has the Yankee logo in the front and the back, and the hood is signed by every member of the current team.
Wow, that is awesome.
So, and this was donated by the gentleman who actually makes these things for sale, right? He donated this Yankee thing, and it is, as you say, it's $50 a ticket. Only 100 tickets are being sold, which means the whole thing, the donation that he made, which took a lot of effort, right?
Yes.
It's going to add up to $5,000.
Right.
50 times 100 is $5,000. It is a fabulous, incredibly cute thing. So you have grandchildren.
And
2
you
grandsons.
do.
I have a grandson. Whoops.
So
I have
we're
a
all good. It's the grandparents that
So
are bidding for it.
Yes, clearly, who buys more tickets? Now,
Yes.
who is going to pull the winning ticket out of?
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
So
Is this
we
going to be
think-
audited?
Yes, it's Funk and Wagnall. It's been sitting on Funk and Wagnall's porch all day in a hermetically sealed plastic jar. Johnny Carson. Anyway, we think the raffle is going to be drawn by a 3-year-old.
Oh,
Who
okay.
who has
modeled for the
who
car?
has modeled for the car, and whose photograph
Be
appears.
sure she gets her hand down deep. She might just be doing surface stuff.
Well, you know, hopefully we'll be the last ones in, and it's going to be competition. Who's got the top? Anyway, that is going to be done at this artwork. I'm going to call it a festival, but it's a sale at 80 Theodore Fremd Avenue. And so, if you're interested, and Kate said to me, you need to take this to the office, and for all those people who come around and sell you Girl Scout cookies that you buy, you need to go hit them up for a...
Well, and you do not have to be present to win. That's also nice.
No, but if you're not present, you have no chance.
The 3-year-old knows
A
this.
3-year-old will be shopped around the entire event.
Well, it's very exciting. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry that your dear wife, Kate, has started some annual thing.
Yeah, well,
Because,
this is a lot less effort than a gala, but it's still a lot of effort.
Yes.
There's a huge committee involved selecting the artwork and pricing it, and then it has to be transported from the warehouse buy truck and Suburban and whatever else is available to drive. You know, thrown in the back, it's put between cardboard thingies, then it's hung on the wall. And
well,
it's a lot of work.
There's a lot of good food too. That's what I remember.
It was good food last year.
Yes.
I think we're having the same. I think
okay.
the same.
That was excellent.
The same facility is donating this year's food, and then we have a
isn't
little
that nice?
wine. Yeah. Right?
Yes, well, wine when you
that was a lot
want
of fun.
people to buy stuff,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, a lot of work. Anyway, so that was fun.
Well, so Furniture Share House, you can just look them up, you know, in your browser, and you can find them, and we'd love to have you be there.
26th October, 6 to 9-ish, 80 Theodore Friend Avenue. By the way, last year there was a huge crowd.
Well, I know parking was a problem.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So get there early.
You have to be inventive with the parking.
I have had issues with my mail, but you know, I
Don't
figure
complain about
everyone has issues. So then I read that people are very upset about Larchmont mail, and that local people, about the Larchmont post office particularly, and so local people took to the U.S. Postal Service in March, and the agency promised to investigate.
And what they do, they added some people and they added customer service.
More carriers were assigned along with additional customer service training. I don't know what that does for anything. And coaching from the post office's Westchester District leadership team. Well,
but that's in March.
Right.
In September, along comes Charlie.
Schumer.
Along comes Charlie Schumer.
He had nothing better to do for that week's Sunday news conference. So he had harsh words for the United States Postal Service's delivery record throughout southern Westchester. Can you believe it?
No. That Chuck Schumer's right on top of things. 6 months late, he's right on top of things.
Let's see if he says anything. Someone said, I think it's nice that Chuck Schumer came, but I don't think my service will change. Well, that's probably absolutely true. I just don't think the agency is prepared to change their patterns.
Well, let's see, but there's another, isn't there another quotable quote in here? Let's see. First of all, the person at whose home this event was thrown was not home, disassociating herself with the event. Second thing is Mayor Bramson, who always picks the right words, said this isn't about catalogs coming late, but receiving bills late, which can result in discontinued service. It's a matter of delayed Social Security payments for people who are living check to check. This is serious. I don't know, if you drive around Larchmont, you'd be hard-pressed to find a lot of people living on Social Security.
Well, also it usually is deposited automatically.
It is deposited automatically. They don't mail checks
Yeah.
anymore. One of the reasons was
well, must not be 66 or whatever.
People who were stealing Social
Yes.
Security checks. Those are the prosecutions on which the young prosecutors in the Southern District, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District, they would cut their teeth on Social Security check theft.
A proud tradition.
Yes, but no more because it's all done by wire transfer.
Oh, so they've lost their,
They
what
have to
they
cut their
gone
teeth on
into?
something else. Yes, exactly.
I guess Social Security fraud, that would do it.
Oh, how about Medicaid fraud?
Well, yes.
Medicare fraud. Ooh. Anyway, so that takes care. So that's a timely news from Chuck Schumer. 6 months after the changes have been made.
I wonder if he even knew where he was.
I doubt it.
So, you know what's coming up is the Westchester County Executives race, and voting is November 7th.
Yes, first Tuesday in November.
So, how do you see this shaping up?
Well, there are two candidates.
Yes.
Two candidates in the major party lines, and then each of those presumably has some minor party lines. Right? There's Rob Astorino, who is the incumbent, who has served for, I believe, 12 years. Am I right? 12 years or 8 years?
Well, is it a 4 or a 6?
It's a 4.
Oh, okay.
So it's 8 years. This would be his third term.
Right.
who has taken his promise not to raise county taxes and made it true. He has not raised the amount of county spending. And everybody says, oh my God, but my county taxes have gone up. How can that be? Well, the way it can be is your county taxes are an apportionment of the warrant that goes to your municipality. And if your municipality has had a particularly good year and the prices in your municipality have gone up, then the share of the county warrant that is absorbed by your municipality has also gone up.
Oh dear.
So the warrant can be the same warrant for 5 years running. In fact, in this case, it's about 7 years running. It can be the same warrant, same amount. The warrant is to the county tax collector, you will collect this amount. It's signed by the county executive. And in the county, it's very confusing because there are so many districts, right? There's sewer districts and fire districts and all kinds of stuff for which the county winds up being the administrator, that there's a lot of warrants. But the county goods and services warrant, the one that is reflected in your county tax rate, right, has not increased in the 7 years that Rob has been the county executive. And he's taken full advantage of that in all of his advertising, saying, I haven't increased your taxes. And he says, George Latimer, who's the other. Well, it's refreshing to actually say something and then do it if you're a politician. That's refreshing. Anyway, don't look at your own county tax bill because that has nothing to do with the ultimate amount of the county property tax warrant. It doesn't have anything to do with it. If you live in New Rochelle, and New Rochelle has had a particularly good year, and last year the assessed value of all the property in New Rochelle was $200 million. I don't know what the numbers are, right? And this year the assessed value is $220 million. Then unless everybody else has gone up that same 10%,
right,
your share of the county property tax warrant will be higher than others, and therefore your taxes will look like they went up. Somebody else's went down, right? Because it still balances out at the same number. So there's a little trick there to understanding actually what it means to talk about county property taxes and how that doesn't necessarily relate to your experience, but it relates to the experience of the million people living in the county generally. So once we get that out of the way, then you can understand.
But it's still better that...
well, it's better than going up 50% over the same 7-year period. So if
which yours would have, increased even more.
Well,
I mean, let's say you were one of those that had an increase because someone else went down.
Right. Yes.
But then you would have been paying even more, probably.
Even more, because the actual size of the warrant would go from whatever it is, $540 million.
Right.
40%. What's 50% of $540 million is $710 million. Am I right on that? No, $810 million. It's $810 million.
You're the math genius here.
Yeah. So, if we're down at 540 and we've stayed at 540 plus or minus a widget over time, how does that compare to, say, a 50% increase, which would be 810? It compares favorably. We have paid less. We, the people of Westchester County, have paid less. And that, it seems to me, is a good thing since Westchester is normally rated as the single most tax-burdened county in the country when you take into account the New York State taxes and the Westchester County tax, not the property tax, but all of the county taxes that you pay a judicial tax. Doesn't have anything to do with the county. You pay all kinds of taxes in your little bits and pieces there. So at the end of the day, it's a good thing to keep that number at 540.
Right.
Right? Instead of going every year up and up and up and up and up.
It helps us.
It helps us. So he's delivered, and I think that's important. George Latimer, who's running against him, is a wonderful guy. Everybody knows George around here on the Sound Shore, like everybody knows Rob up county, where he lives, Mount Pleasant. So George is very well known down here. I don't know whether he's well known around the rest of the county. I don't think he has the same executive experience, sort of, as the person who's responsible for kind of everything. I don't think he has that sort of experience, at least not that I can remember. He was chair of the County Board of Legislators, which is kind of like herding cats, right? try and keep them in line, and trying
Well,
to
it
get
sounds challenging.
yeah, trying to get things done. But I don't think it's quite the same thing as running whatever the county's budget is. I don't know, $1 billion or
Right.
$2 billion budget. So those are the two candidates, and this really should be. It should have been a good campaign. It should have been a campaign where people who are good people, Rob is a good person and a good politician, George is a good person and a good politician, where the issues that were being debated kind of on the merits and kind of raise the level of discourse in Westchester from the incredible, ridiculous stuff that has been going on for the last 2 years between Hillary and Trump. And then, you know, the people who in Westchester who believe Trump is the demon, and then there are people in Westchester, who, not too many, but who believe Hillary is the demon. I mean, it's like people don't talk to each other anymore. They can't speak to each other. This should have been one of those campaigns. We had two good people with a lot of experience, one an executive, one a legislator, one well-known South County, another well-known North County, where there could have been a discussion of the issues. I think taxation is an important issue. I would like to hear a discussion of taxation.
Right.
I would like to hear how you can keep the taxation level where it's at. I think that's just astounding. They just eliminated a lot of jobs, and they kept the pressure on, which is what I tried to do when I was mayor. So I'm very sympathetic to that. I would like to hear what the argument is on why we should pay more in taxes. I mean, what services? I mean, really, what does the county provide, truly?
Right.
Other than the operation of
Doesn't
sewer
seem like
plants. No,
much.
other than the operation of sewer plants and the county police on the county highways. When Andy Spano was the county executive, this is the last before Rob, right? Who actually lost to Rob, I think, in Spano's fourth
Oh,
bid
really?
for
I
fourth
forgot
term.
that.
I think that's right. I know what he spent a lot. He spent a lot of money on security detail. Every place he went, he had some really big people accompanying him, and there were cars with the whole. I mean, really. I was in a county facility once to attend. It was a supervisors and mayors meeting. It was in the secure county operations headquarters, which I'm not telling you where it is, but it exists.
You'd have to shoot me, right?
Yes, I have to shoot myself. It exists. It's very difficult to get into. You have to show ID. It's guarded by policemen. It's covered.
Oh, wow.
It's covered. To get in, you have to go through like 3 checks, right? You have to ID check, and then your pocket check, and then another check. You get in there, and Andy Spano, who was then the county executive, comes in. He's surrounded by huge human beings in a facility you can't get into. He is surrounded. And who was he being protected from? Mayors and supervisors. I thought that was hysterical. What are we paying for this? Oh my God, this must be $1,000 a day for each one of these fellows, or 3 big fellows. I mean, you know, come on.
You should have brought that to Larchmont.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was hoping that this would be a good discussion of the issues. So far, I don't get the feeling it has been. I haven't seen a lot
I haven't
of
seen
good
that
press
there's been
coverage.
anything.
I've seen garbage press events. I haven't seen the kind of exchange that you'd be hoping for from two people of quality.
To talk about ideas.
Well, yeah, talk about the future of the county.
Right.
I know Rob is trying to get into the battle to get Amazon here,
Oh, cool.
right? But if you were Amazon, I don't know that you'd look at Westchester with the overrun municipality of New York City as the hub, and just you can't get anywhere. I mean, it's just
Right.
public transportation is not up to snuff. The private transportation on the roads is just impossible. You can't go anywhere. You know, maybe up county somewhere would work. I would be thinking if you were Amazon, you might be looking at Boston. You might look at Westchester, but Westchester's good.
isn't
But Boston is,
Westchester?
not out on the loop,
Oh, okay.
right? They have a loop that's built out there that has a lot of high-tech operations and so on. So, I don't know. Long Island? That's also jammed.
Yeah, no, that's,
Just overcrowded. New Jersey, it's the same thing. The northern New Jersey is just jammed with people.
what about Pennsylvania?
Out past Lancaster Avenue on the main line, past Philadelphia. Philadelphia, and then there's the main line, and then you're out in the country.
Well, it's nice to have this energy going on with Amazon.
Oh, it is, yeah.
As it takes over the world.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a few minutes left. Would you like to comment on fake news?
No, I think we never did this in July. I think we should comment on the fact that Rob Estorino stood up to the feds on this
Well, this
Westchester
certainly is
housing
relevant
dispute.
with him running for office.
Yeah, well, this is from the Wall Street Journal, right?
Yep.
This is Wall Street Journal, Monday, July 24th. As part of the, the Obama administration had a larger, Mr. Astorino called HUD's memo a vindication, meaning the memo that was written now said we're not going to pursue this anymore. This litigation lasted for 10 years, 9 years.
10 years, what a waste.
And it is, says these guys, not least because Westchester demonstrated as early as 2010 that the county didn't have racially exclusionary zoning practices. Westchester residents live where they want and can afford to live. The Obama administration had a larger social and political agenda, which was to use the federal anti-discrimination law as a battering ram to rewrite local zoning laws. Westchester would be the model for the rest of the country, and as a Republican, Mr. Astorino was an ideal foil to portray as a racist and then point to as a precedent to force racial housing quotas on neighborhoods across America. Astorino fought back, producing 11 reports about the county's zoning practices. The agency responded by withholding $23.4 million in development money meant for Westchester's poorest communities over 4 years. Those are the community development block grants, which they did withhold. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo used this dispute to portray the Republican as hostile to minorities. Now, Mr. Astorino looks like a hero to Westchester residents who have already forked out $81.6 million for the new housing, plus $172 million contributed by the state and federal taxpayers. Congratulations to Mr. Astorino and Westchester for refusing to give in to the extortion and for winning in the end. I think that's a nice editorial, and I think it says one of the other good things that Rob has done as county executive, which is to basically defend the county and New York state zoning law. That's what he was defending, was New York state zoning law. We are a home rule state. It means that once the laws are set up, you apply them locally, and that's it. You don't go to Albany every time you need clearance, and Albany doesn't come down on things like neighborhood zoning and education and stuff and tell you what you have to do. And this was an example of them trying to do it, and Rob fought, and I agree with that particular editorial. I don't agree with everything the Wall Street Journal says, but I agree with that one.
You know, we never usually end on an upbeat note. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
I'll see you October 26th.
Do you agree with that or what?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, I think it's fantastic that, you know, someone was willing to fight.
Okay, well, I agree with that.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
I think that's terrific.
Make sure to vote on November 7th. Choose a candidate. They both have lots of good qualities. You can decide whether any of them has excellent qualities or not, or has deficient qualities, but you should get out and vote.
Be informed.
Yes, you should get out and vote.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the talent on the other side of the cameras, the real talent.
We didn't mention John.
Oh, John, we miss you.
We lost one of our camera people who was with us for 7 years, right? 7 years, 6, 7 years. We forgot to do that.